And one more time, hello everyone. Let me start sharing the screen to show agenda for today's meeting. Okay, so I see we had moderators last week, Jonathan and Abhishek. Before we start agenda, do you have anything to share, Jonathan, Abhishek?
Nothing major. Just one thing that folks might find interesting. Wilson Wang 371 from ByteDance reached out on issue 17.130 and 17.128, saying that they had some performance optimizations that they were making to their own downstream Argo CD and were interested in contributing those upstream. I saw that Michael had reached out on that, so sounds like that's being followed up. But yeah, I thought I would call that out for folks that were interested in improvements to Argo CD scalability. Beyond that, I think that's it.
And is it the right issue, or I opened something else? 71.
I'll paste it in chat, just because that's what I have available, and I'll also paste it in the document as soon as I can find it.
Thank you.
Yep.
Oh, amazing. Yeah, I can imagine it might help because we marshal and marshal JSON a lot in Argo CD. Cool. Thank you. All right. So if this is the so we need to find a moderator for next week. Do we have any volunteers?
Oh, did I miss I didn't them on the topics that I just had to come a few minutes late.
Oh no, you have not missed it yet. We're about to move to it.
Perfect.
Right. So yeah, we're looking for moderator for next week. So today we had last week we had Jonathan and Abhishek. So I think we're looking from someone from that list. I'm trying to see if anyone is available in that meeting from that list. I see Justin, Ishita.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't. I mean, I didn't mean to call you out. I was just.
Okay.
I know you usually do it very often, so I'm looking if anyone else wants to do it this time.
Alex, I'll take secondary, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna have time for primary.
Okay, and then yeah, I really feel bad for Shita to do it again. Maybe I'll take primary this time. So yeah, but two of us can do it. So okay, so Justin and Alex. If unless someone else wants to do it, then yes. Okay, if no one else wants to do moderation, so I can move to topics. I see we have so issues from triage and Jonathan. I think do you think we should discuss it anymore, or it's
nope, all good. I just wanted to add it to the agenda for folks that were interested, but those were the ones that I mentioned.
Good. Thank you. All right, and Zach, I think it's your turn. Let me know if you want to take over screen share, or we can just open.
You could just open the issue.
Thank
you. Yeah, I'm at SeatGeek, and we want to get some monitoring on Argo as we roll it out and just see how our users are using the tool. There's Google Analytics integration, but that one also might be a little bit, I think that's still on the older version of Google Analytics, so that's not on, I haven't taken a look at it. We don't really use Google Analytics too much either for internal applications, and we use Datadog Rum for things like Backstage and other dev tools that folks are using. I was curious One, if anybody has set up Datadog Rum perhaps without an official integration, and if there's like kind of a workaround to get observability on your Argo CD UI. And if not, if there is interest in setting up a Datadog real-time user monitoring integration for Argo in the same way that there is one for Google Analytics, which would just mean you'd add some configuration to your Argo installation, and that would give you an integration into Datadog to see how your users are using the tool.
I'm curious, have you set it up before in any other project? I'm curious how many dependencies does it introduce?
Yeah, we've set it up in other web-based tools. Usually it is just pulling a script down from the CDN, like a little JavaScript block that will kind of spin up and then start sending analytic messages back to Datadog. So really the only dependency that I'm aware of is the Datadog Rum one. And that can either be done in React code or as something kind of injected higher level up into the index HTML.
I personally think that, I mean, it's definitely useful for people to integrate with their application analytics, right? I mean, we do have Google Analytics since, I don't know, was probably it's been a very long time that it's there, and I guess it's I think it came out of some Intuit requirement back in the days. But I would rather look for something generic in this matter, instead of saying we have a special configuration for Datadog in Argo CD, or we have a special configuration for app dynamics in Argo CD, right? So maybe we can find a generic way to integrate those monitoring tools that rely on pulling in some JavaScript into the browser that could then be configured by an admin. I don't know if it's possible yet already.
One great way, we were also looking at UI extensions, because if we could just load up a UI extension that automatically runs the Datadog Rum SDK init code whenever you're in Argo CD, that'd work as well. But all the UI extensions are kind of, components that you add when a tab is clicked or something like that. So there's not really like a global injection point where we could just say, run this JavaScript or run this React code anytime anybody loads a page in Argo. So if there was some hook there as well, then people could go add their Google Analytics code. They could add custom analytics code, Datadog Rum.
I think it's maybe documentation issue. Like, I think technically it's possible to do it already with extensions, but it's kind of, it will be a hack. But so there is a document in the developer's guide, the UI extensions. I think if you simply just put a JavaScript file here, and that JavaScript file can ignore everything, here below. So the idea, like, we blindly execute this JavaScript file. So what happens is UI loads first, and then set up some kind of, there is a global object that has methods like register resource extension, register, a lot of different things, but extension can just ignore all of these methods and just do whatever it wants. So.
And that runs on every page load?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So I guess maybe that's this. As long as there is a file in TMP extensions, it will be just loaded. So maybe that's enough. Yeah. And
well, we can start with that, and if it works, I'll comment back on the issue. Just maybe we could even publish that extension. Just if you want Datadog Rum set up, this is all you have to do is add this extension to your code. Cool. We're totally happy starting with that and then reporting back, and appreciate the help here.
Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah, and it's just extensions. At some point, they used to be specific to like resource, and then we found, yeah, there is not much documentation around it, but this file kind of describes that.
Cool.
Should be
Yeah,
possible.
and we'll do that, and then maybe we could also contribute back to the documentation here just to clarify that.
Awesome, thank you. Yeah, and I think I agree with Jan. I think like Google Analytics was added purely because of it was like a single man decision. We just had access to Google Analytics and we wanted to see if users using, but now it doesn't even work anymore because I think this version of Google Analytics deprecated. So I would drop it and replace it with the same extension. Same approach. Right, thank you. And this is the last topic. I guess. So the question, anyone else wants to bring up something and discuss in that meeting? Okay, if not, then we can finish it way early and save 30 minutes. Last chance.
I'll just mention I talked with Michael about this last week, but I'm trying to do a cleanup right now on PRs that are old. And for the ones that seem to still be, if they have a change was requested on them and it hasn't been resolved, then I'm generally moving it to draft so that they can go and make those changes, and when they're ready, they can. But most of these are 2 years old at this point. Some of them are still relevant. Other ones I'm just closing. So I'm just trying to do a cleanup on PRs right now. We've got 300 some odd PRs, and I went through about 20 in the last 2 days. So I'm trying to go through and start cleaning them up. So if you see that number start to fluctuate, it's not an error. It's just closing old stuff and inviting people to reopen it if it's still relevant, but just trying to clean it up a bit.
Thank
That's
you.
all.
I could also bring up just one more kind of question to the group if we have a second. I posted it in the Zoom chat. This was a different issue we set up, and we were just curious what the thinking is on like deciding on what info labels to add to the resource tree. We just thought that our users would find it helpful when you are seeing a replica set to see the actual count of replicas. And we found that code and put up a PR, but we also don't know, is there like a reasoning on why certain of these labels are set, why certain labels aren't set. It's not a very strong need, but I thought if we had some time, I just kind of asked the question.
Most of, as far as I know, most of the fields that were added, it was pretty much in response to requests like this. So some of the fields were obvious. The most popular ones like pod restart count because it's yeah, and then a bit less popular are just based on number of requests from end user. And so this one, and usually, yeah, reason not to add a field is because it uses a little bit more memory. So replicas to me seems very safe because it's like one more integer per replica set is not going to cost much, in my opinion. And you think there is a pull request open that already adds?
Yeah, I put it up. It's the framework's there already, so it's pretty simple to put together. Again, it's not like the analytics is very important to us. This was just if it would help other folks, and the same way we think it would help our users, just to see as they scroll over what these counts are set to.
Personally, I don't have any objection. I feel like it's a simple tool. I'm curious anyone else. Sorry, it's a simple little field, so it's really easy to edit because it won't use too much memory. But is anyone else has a different opinion? I guess that's my question. Okay, so in this case, at least I can add, we can add a note that in the meeting, no one had objections to request changes on this PR, so it should be fairly small. So we'll try to review it. Personally, I don't see a reason why not, because I think it's like that we already have a feature requested to configure a list of fields that controller populates, so end user can add more fields. But I don't think this feature will be done very soon. And yeah, replicas seems to be a straightforward case. It's not that big of a deal to delay it and make everyone wait for the feature that let end user configure fields.
And if that other feature needs an implementer, we could also, free to drop that somewhere, because this might not be the last one, and then it could be nice to be able to build out the solution to do that on our own and contribute that back.
The feature needs, I can look for this feature and add it to the doc. It needs a proposal first, because I think so far it's just high level description. And the idea is to let end user provide a bunch of the JSON passes and a key, and controller will try to find these passes, and collect the data from every object. Yeah, so thanks for proposing help there. I will find it, in our list and add it to the document. Okay, let me check if any other topic showed up. If not, I think we are done. So we can get back 25 minutes. So let me stop sharing, and thanks everyone for joining.
Thanks.
Thanks everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.